Hey guys, how
Woohoo!
are ya?
Woo, 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 woo.
Woo hoo hoo!
Good
Canadian
Kevin's in
evening.
guys
the house.
are on
Kevin's in the
the
house.
air. So tonight, what I thought we would do, and I'd like to welcome everybody who's in the side. I see we've got Ron Hanna in the side. We've got Nick Adams and Angel Face. Um, well, we're early on, so I'm sure we'll have more as time goes on. Anyway, I wanted to start off. I've got a bunch of questions, guys. I didn't warn you about any of this, but it's coming. Now, what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about what we did in the summer. Where did you go this summer? And so I thought that might be a good place to start. And I'm going to start with Wayne, because Wayne has done a lot of traveling this summer. And this could take a while. so
Yeah.
Wayne,
Book an extra hour. Book an extra hour, I guess. We've been in a lot of places. For some reason, I'm getting tone back here for some reason.
Oh, no.
Anyway. Just gonna.
What is the Canadian Guys show without technical difficulties?
I know it's been like that since the beginning of this. Are you all set to go, Wayne?
Let me get this back up again. No.
And Wayne's only got one computer this time. One computer.
That's right.
One microphone.
That's right. Just let me get shit out of the way here.
Well, we got Richard Martin.
There it is.
Oh, Richard. Oh, boy.
Is that Hey Richard?
There. We're good now.
Yeah.
Is that Hey Richard in the side chat?
It is.
Hey,
well, Richard should be on here because he was on the damn trip with us.
We should. Hold on here.
Send him the link.
I'm going to send the link.
And I'll start gabbing now that I got it fixed up.
All right.
Here.
Richard, if you want to join in, hit the link. And
okay.
We'll
add you in. You're on. Go.
So where you go, Wayne?
Greg's in too.
Tell me about what you did. Where did you go this summer? Because I know this is going to be a long list.
Yeah. Let's see. We started out with we went to Milwaukee. We went to the Harley Museum.
And how was that?
And then it's like going to church. If you've ever been in the building, everybody walks around on their tippy toes. Everybody whispers. And it's like being in church. There's a lot of respect. People walking around, there's not allowed, nobody's running around. There's no kids making noise. It's very respectful. It's a interesting display. There's a few still missing. They're still looking for, I think, 3 years that they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at advertising for somebody. Like, if you've got this bike, talk to us first, is what they say. Like, let us at least have a chance to bid on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that, and then they've got all their display of like their R&D department where they're doing testing of stuff, and their racing engines and stuff like that are in there. And the thing that impressed me the most was just the storage of bikes that weren't on display. There were racks and racks of bikes that they take and they swap them out so that the display is freshened up every once in a while. Like, doesn't get stale. And I walked around and I looked around the corner and I was like, oh my God, look at all the bikes. Like, you just wouldn't believe that there was that many.
And the engines, they have racks and racks of all of the different engines.
Yeah, they got a wall with just all the different gas tanks on it. And
Yeah.
that was kind of interesting in a way. You saw like the span over all the years. It was kind of cool.
So is it a must see?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you're a Harley guy, you gotta go. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it's part of the thing. And if you're a hog member, it's you get in for free.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's like $14 or something to get in without it, but it's not gonna kill you. So we rode. I went to my friend's house that week, and I think on the Tuesday morning, I think we went, slept over Wednesday night. He lives near Sarnia, and then we went across the border at Sarnia. We rode right across to Muskegon, and took a ferry across Lake Michigan to Milwaukee. Stayed over, went to the museum in the morning. What was that?
The high-speed ferry. It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yes. And it still takes almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and something. They got, like they serve food on there because you'd starve to death on the ride. Like it's a long ways to go. So we got across. We stayed overnight. We went to the museum, and then we left there and we headed down. We stayed over in Peoria, Illinois, right beside a casino boat. So we knew we were going to get good food because there's always good food at a casino. So we stayed there, and then we went the next day through Missouri. We stayed in like lower Missouri for a night, and then we went to Eureka Springs, and that's where we stayed for the whole week. And we rode the Twisted Lady, Pigs Trail, went to the Ozark Cafe. We did all the touristy stuff. The Cat House restaurant in Eureka Springs. We went there. There was another biker bar. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it really cool?
Yeah. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I thought it was nobody served us at first, and there was nobody there. There was nobody inside. There was no, and they kept coming out, and the waitresses were smoking, and then they'd go back inside and they just ignored us. So we finally walked in and said, "Hey, if somebody's not going to serve us, we're going to leave." So so the owner came out and looked after us and got our food and everything. But wasn't a very good experience. We weren't too pleased.
So where did you go after that?
But as far as the roads out there, so then where did I go? Okay, so I came back from Eureka Springs a week later. I did a Iron Butt back. I did 1,029 miles in 17 and a half hours directly from Eureka Springs to my place in Jarvis. Nah, it was easy. Okay. It was a breeze. I even stopped a couple of times and had like a sit-down meal both times.
There's why they call it an iron butt.
So then I went to the Probert ride in Windsor. I rode back to the border, did about a 4-day weekend there, and went to Thunder Road Harley in Windsor, and they fixed my brakes.
Okay.
So nobody else seemed to be able to even find that there was anything wrong with them, let alone fix them. But they threw it right up on the rack right away. Hi, Craig. How's it going? So I went to that, and then I was back home, and then I went to Tazewell, Virginia via Pennsylvania. I stopped at PSP Tommy G's and Jody's place overnight. I rode part of the way with Bonnie and Pete from Artist on a Harley. Cool. I met them at the border, Canadian-U.S. border. So I rode down with them to Tommy G's. And then we broke out the next morning. There was Harley Girl, her friend Marilyn, Jody, Tommy,
the motorcycle meetup, like the van, Is that the
Tazewell. VAM. Yeah,
vlogger?
VAM.
What do they call that? It's the
Yeah. Virginia moto meetup. I think it's 22.
Virginia area moto meetup.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's
so I went. Yeah, so I was there. Memphis Mike, I invited him. He roomed with me for the whole weekend. We rode the back of the Dragon with everybody on the first ride day. They had a get together at the Sonic the night before. We went to that. As soon as I pulled in the parking lot, HDR walked right up to me and we met right away. Yeah, I got all the big guys out of the way right at the start. McStash was there. The only one that I wanted to see that didn't show up was Doyle from Blue Bike and Doyle. They had a little incident on the way there, and they just turned around and went home. They damaged Doyle's bike and her Spider. So they had a little meeting, and it wasn't too good on either bike. So no, it wasn't a planned event. So he didn't make it. They didn't make it. But McStash was there, and Toby Northern, Ty from Tennessee.
I heard there was like 50 of them.
Lots of people. Yeah, there was quite a few. The thing that surprised me the most was how many people actually knew who I was. Walked right up to me and started talking to me like we'd known each other forever. It was kind of freaky.
Well, that's the one thing I've been finding with the moto vlogging. Like I'll go to an event and then people will know who the heck I am, and that always sort of throws me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Kind of not unnerving, but it was just like, oh, okay, somebody. And I was like, a couple of times I was like, how do you? Oh yeah, we know you. Yeah, it's like I was like, oh, okay.
And so you did the Dragon and all that stuff when you were down there, did you?
We did the back of the Dragon, which is cool, and we did Claw. They did part of Claw when they did the back of the Dragon, and then Mike and I did the back of the Dragon and the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker, they were doing paving on it, and we rode it on the weekend. There was no crew there, but the equipment was all parked off to the side, and like one lane was paved and it was like raised next to the other lane, so there was no way you were going over the line, because if you did, you dropped about 4 inches. And it was all asphalt crumbs, and it wasn't. Back tires were sliding out a little bit. Mike don't go slow, let me tell you. He rides, so we went around a couple corners. We were like loosey goosey on a few of them, but it's an eye opener, that Widowmaker, because you look over the side to your right, and it's about 150 feet down. No guardrail, no nothing, just a few trees in the way you're getting to the bottom. So
after that trip, you had another trip, didn't you?
Okay, so well, yeah, I had a customer in South Carolina that called me up and wanted to visit, and so I leapt out from Tazewell and went to South Carolina and stayed overnight, went to see them, got out of there and started heading home. And then I got to like upper northern North Carolina, and I started heading home, and then I got to
you have to turn your YouTube off.
Yeah, North Carolina, and I started heading home, and then
you got your YouTube turned off? There you go.
Yeah. Turn your volume off, Richard, on your YouTube player.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So got out of there, North Carolina, stayed over, and then I came back I was still having a few issues. The balancing of the front tire on the Harley wasn't that great from them when they fixed the brakes. They changed the tire and it wasn't. They used beads and it didn't balance properly. So I stopped in there again and made an appointment to come back the next day and get it fixed. So yeah. So then we were home a couple of weeks, I think, and then we went to New Hampshire. Went to see our friends. So we did a
Wow.
ride down in New Hampshire and back, and then got home. We were home a few weeks, 2-3 weeks. I think we've been home. Then I went with you guys. We went up
So
north and around.
that's
So we
right.
did that. So
I just want,
so
while we're on that subject, we went, the Canadian guys, we did go on a Canadian guys run, and this other guy, this funny looking guy that you see on the bottom here, that's Richard, or sometimes known as Hey Richard. He's not a YouTuber, but he's on a lot of YouTube videos.
We
And
called it the Canadian Guys Plus One.
Canadian guys plus one. So what I was alluding to is we're going to talk a little bit tonight about our ride that we went on a week ago. There was 4 of us that went, Wayne and Dave and Richard and myself. And oh my goodness, we had an awful lot of fun. I'm going to jump to Dave and ask him what he did this summer, and then we're going to talk about this trip. I have a short video I'll show you after Dave.
After
So-
Dave. No pressure. No pressure here.
No pressure, Dave. So Dave, where did you go this summer? What kind of rides did you go on?
Well, you know what? After we, the Canadian guys signed off at the end of June last year, which gave us the whole summer to, collect videos and go on rides. So Lori and I, the first part of June, we went to Americade down Lake George.
And what was that like?
We took the toy hauler, put the bikes in the back, and we went and stayed at the Ledgeview RV Park, which is just outside of Lake George, and had just a fantastic time. The roads down around Lake George are just amazing. Lakes, hills, mountains, just really amazing. Took some time and actually met up with our friend Craig Hainsworth from Buffalo. He and his wife were there, so we stopped and had dinner one night with them. But it was really good. The only thing I did not like about Americade is the vendor area. You had to pay $10 to get into it.
Oh, really?
That's the first time I've ever had to pay to go and see vendors to spend money. Now, with us, we had bought sort of like, I forget now that it's back in June, I kind of forget. But we purchased kind of a premier package, which gave us parking on the street. Because parking, if you parked your bike anywhere, you had to pay. So Lori and I, we had free parking. We had admission into the vendors, but again, this cost us, a few bucks. I forget exactly what it was. But anyway, that aside, Lake George, the roads around it are just a premium. Just fantastic. Lori and I rode Highway 9 3 times during that period because it was just such a stunning ride. So that was June, and we had a number of Hog Chapter rides throughout June, and into July. We had a couple of rides in July. We had the Adventure Ride, which is a 3-day ride that our Hog Chapter puts together. And we went out to Grand Bend, around in that area there, and spent 3 days riding up and down the coast of Lake Huron. So in August, right, in August, my son was getting married, a beautiful girl, Anna, and their wedding, they planned on going to Greece to get married. And so Lori and I, we were going to pack up our bags and head to Greece. But before we did that, we organized a meetup between some motor vloggers and Craig from Shush Moto, where there was 6 motor vloggers. There was obviously Kevin, Wayne, and myself. There was Gloria from Harley Girl, and Bonnie and from Artisan Harley, along with Craig and all of the spouses, except for Lori. She was working and couldn't make it. But we had a fantastic night at Kelsey's, where we sat from, I think, 6 o'clock until 11 o'clock when they kicked us out, talking about motor vlogging, all of our stories. And I think there was a few cameras that kind of scanned around the room and were taking pictures and that. And we did this, and 2 days later, Lori and I we're on a jet, and we're flying direct to Athens, where we stayed a couple of days in Athens. We spent 7 days at a resort at Hydra Beach, and we spent 7 days over at the island of Rhodes in the historic village of Lindos. And I tell you, Greece was never on my bucket list, but I'm really glad that the kids wanted to get married there, because it was just absolutely stunning. If anybody has got an opportunity to go to Greece, go. It's well worth it. And the temperature was between 32 and 38 every single day.
No
right?
kidding. This
And
is
the water was like bath water, the ocean, right? The blacks. We were on the Adriatic Sea or the Black Sea. I can't remember. I'm bad for that, but just fantastic. So we were gone for 18 days in total. Not crazy about the flight. We flew Air Transat, and the seats there, for a 9-hour flight going over because of the tailwinds, and an 11-hour flight coming back because of the headwinds. And it didn't matter which way I was going, man, those seats were uncomfortable, right? To sit in. I was fidgeting the whole time. Thought I could go to sleep. Never got a wink of sleep on the planes, but still, the visit to Greece was fantastic. And a quick little story. So we're driving from Athens down to Hydra Beach, which is a 3.5-hour drive. And we get into the secondary highway, which takes us 2 hours to get down to Hydra Beach. And the guy that was driving the limousine says to us, because he knew we were motorcyclists, he says, "This is one of the top 10 rides in Greece." And you can see it's switchbacks, twisties, up and down mountains, on the side of mountains, cutting through mountains. And Lori looks and she says, "Oh, look at all of the little houses on the side of the street. Those must be, for celebration of the land or the people or whatever." And the guy says, "No, ma'am." He says, "That's where somebody died." And then she says, "Oh my God, there's so many of them." He says, "Yeah, the highway's been here for a long time, right?" But I've got some videos of that. Over the summer, because I was just so busy, never got to publish anything. Over June, July, August, very, very little. So I've got a lot of videos that I got to catch up with. The trip to Americade, trip to Greece. The adventure tour. Our Hog chapter just in September did a charity ride to the Cedar Center, which is for abused children and adults that have gone through traumatic experience, and also to the Cedar Vale Lodge, which is a nursing home that our chapter goes and visits every year. So we raised money for teddy bears for the Cedar Center, and enjoyed a pizza dinner at the retirement home. And it was great seeing all of the seniors coming out and checking out our bikes, putting on our motorcycle vests and, doing photo ops and that. And it was really a really great time. So,
and then there was another trip you went on.
And then, you know what, that kind of leads me very quick, not to mention lots of stuff going on at the trailer, a week vacation with the grandkids that kept us busy, right? And tired. And, so much. We had a very, 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 very busy summer, a little bit of riding, lots of family, a little socializing. But anyway, I'll stop there because the next ride, and I'll just say this, our friend Kevin, Superman Kev 2001, he put out an alert that said, help, I need to get out of the house.
That's right.
He says, I'm going stir crazy. Help me. Somebody plan a ride. So we did. And I'll leave Kev to introduce.
Right. Well, you know what? I think a picture says 1,000 words. So I'm gonna play a little video. This is just sort of a teaser, because I think that the three of us are gonna have some videos coming out about this ride. And then we can kind of take our discussion from here. The only ride I really went on this summer was this one. So here we go.
I gotta say, what a great day and a great group of guys to be riding with this weekend. Having a fantastic time. Thanks, Superman Kev, for coming along. And if you haven't seen his channel, get on the computer and watch it.
Here we are at the entrance to Algonquin Park. Honda Goldwing, let's get a wave. All right. So here we are. We're in Coldwater, and we're gonna have a parade. There's a parade.
I love a parade.
We love a parade. And they're doing that all just for the Canadian guys, pretty sure.
Well, there you go, guys.
Nice video, Kev.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, it kind of captures the whole weekend.
I don't know. What have I got here? Okay. Oh, there. How did I get all of you guys? Oh, I know. There we go. Yeah, you know what? It was an awful lot of fun, that trip.
Yeah.
And without getting into too much of all that went wrong or right,
Nothing
it
went
was a
wrong.
really, really fun. It was a really fun time. I'm wondering how you guys are making out with your videos.
So I haven't started work on any of them yet. Figured I'd wait until I had more information on my ride, because nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong. I know we're not going to talk about that. Nothing went wrong.
No, nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong.
Yeah, I haven't made any videos yet. I've been working on it, but I haven't published anything yet. So we're back up here again now. We're actually in Perth right now. So
Nice.
I mean, I can't believe that you drove all the way back up there, but I can understand why.
well,
It was
we
just
didn't take quite the same route. We went to when we got off work Saturday night evening, and we rode up to Barrie. We stayed over there. Then we went to Huntsville. Then we went through Algonquin, did the same route through there. And then we ended up in Bancroft, stayed overnight in Bancroft. And then we ended up here in Perth via Quebec, Ottawa, and back around. So we're like on our last leg heading home now. So both of us got to go to work day after tomorrow. So
Well, hopefully your ride home's a little drier than ours was.
Yeah.
so far, actually, today was actually pretty nice. It was a lot warmer than the day before. The day before, my left foot was cold because I didn't use the heated insoles of my suit. So the right leg was warm enough because of the exhaust, but the left one was a little cold all the way. But yeah, it was a good ride. Through Quebec, we went over 2 water dams, like I think they're generator dams. Just very scenic, just all of a sudden we were come around the corner and there's the Quebec sign, and we're in Quebec.
Yeah.
And I think it was 148. Runs right down. It runs right straight down right into Gatineau, and then around, and you end up in Ottawa. So I wanted to get a photo of the bike in front of the Parliament buildings, and we come around the corner to go there, and they got it all blocked off. You can't go anywhere near it. So that was a
That's too
no,
bad.
a hard no. I wouldn't have gone to Ottawa if I'd have known that.
So
Then
to clue
we went to we ate dinner in right across from where the Ottawa Senators barn is, and
right on.
hockey rink for those other people that don't know what that barn means. And then we came back here to Perth for the night. The same motel that we all of us stayed at was the only one that was available. Everything else was booked up. He had 2 rooms left, so we got one of them.
Yeah, and Perth is a great little town because they're not Maple Leaf fans. They're not a Toronto Maple Leaf town. They cheer the Ottawa Senators, which we found out.
Yeah.
Well, they're so close, right? That makes the most sense. What I was going to say is what was really cool for me with this trip was that Dave took the bull by the horn, and he organized a trip and wouldn't tell us where we were going. And that's sort of the most fun.
Well, I let the cat out of the bag a little bit because I told you where each day was going to end. So our first day was ending in Huntsville. Our second day ended in Perth. and then obviously the third day was home, right? But I didn't let on any of the highways that we were going on, so it was either a surprise or recognition by the guys that say, "Oh, I've been on here," and no, I haven't been on here, right? And I think all of us agree that Highway 60, what was it, 64 or 65, out by Perth, was the hands down highway of the weekend ride.
McStash says that he was in Michigan, which is in brackets South Canada. Well, I don't think so.
That boy has to come north of the border. We'll take him on some Canadian roads.
He also says, "Wait, that's Hey Richard, welcome." So, Richard, what did you think of hanging out with a bunch of Canadian guys, YouTubers? What was that like?
Honestly, I've had so many belly laughs that weekend. That was a just riot. I couldn't believe how much fun that was.
Yeah.
I do feel kind of like a loser not having any cameras on my bike, but
You've got on camera a lot.
yeah.
Well, you should have let us know. I mean, Wayne's got probably 100 in his collection. We could have put a dozen on your bike.
Yeah, we could have put 3 or 4 on there just so we could see what we looked like going down the road instead of everybody else.
Yeah. Wayne, I checked it out, and I've got some good video of both you and Kev riding behind me on that rear camera.
Yeah.
I snuck up in there pretty tight there a couple of times on some of those bends just to see if I could get it focused in pretty good. So
I really was surprised at how much really good footage I got, because often it doesn't work out that way. The problem being is I got so much footage.
That's a good point.
So much really good footage, and trying to be able to tell the story without it just being one big long ride of curvy roads is going to be a challenge. But that's why I did my little trailer with the 3 moto vloggers there. This is my take on it. And I'm gonna have a couple of videos, I think, about this trip, because I have so much video, and it was an awful lot of fun. And without tipping the scale as to everything that went on, we did have a little bit of drama along the way. And you know what? It was fun. It was an awful lot of fun. And I wondered.
What do you say, drama? What drama?
Oh, no drama. No drama.
No.
I'm going to just see if I can find my pictures here.
Just something for Kevin and Wayne. Bang! Oh.
What do you mean, bang?
I got a hearing test booked for next week.
Okay, so somebody else explain it other than me.
One of the bikes was having a few issues on the ride and was coughing and snorting. Let's just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. The best day of riding will include, what would you say, Wayne? What would the best day of riding include? If you were thinking about, say, our trip on last weekend, what would be the best day of riding would include?
The best day was the day that Dave's bike actually started.
How about you, Dave?
I was so appreciative of that actual event that I just anything after that was great. So
we'll let you, defend yourself.
So just because you know what's interesting here is Bodine 52 just logged in. So Bob, hopefully he sticks around for a few. So for everybody, I had problems with my bike. It was fine. It ran fine driving on Friday morning over to meet the guys. But after breakfast, when we jumped on the bikes to head out, from then until, well, I don't know if it's fixed yet or whatever. But anyway, my bike was misfiring, backfiring, stalling, right? The guys, when they say bang, was, every now and then, I guess the pressure would build up on the pressure would build up in the exhaust pipe because it would just shoot out like a shotgun, right? And so, each of the guys had the opportunity of riding right behind me when my bike backfired, right? And if this had been Bodine, he probably would have crapped himself because he's from the US, right? So, he's probably heard a few gunfires in his lifetime. So, but anyway, the guys were very, very supportive of my bike because they had no idea where to go. So they had to keep me going. And as a matter of fact, there was a couple of times, one in Maynooth where I stalled out waiting to get into a left-hand turn, to get into the gas station. And so the guys ran blocker for me until I got the bike started. And Richard was my savior. He jumped off because when I was making a left-hand turn, why was always on left-hand turns, I have no idea, but it would stall on a left-hand turn in the middle of the highway. Richard jumps off his bike because they had all left me, and I guess he felt guilty. He should run back and get me.
I didn't know where I was.
And there he was. He
I
ran
think
back
that's
to
a
get
little
me,
exaggerated.
and he pushed me off the road. And at that point in time, I looked at Wayne was still trying to get himself unplugged from his bike, and Kevin was trying to get his camera running so he could picture me breaking down in the middle of the highway.
I'm a YouTuber.
That's just the way I see it. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it makes for a good story. Anyway, my bike is on my trailer. It's going into the shop tomorrow. So later on, I'll let you know what was the problem. Anyway, that was the elephant in the room, was my bike. So 95% of my weekend was fantastic. These three guys were great guys to go on a road trip with. And what's Mustache saying? A clean bike runs better. I did wash my bike. My bike, guys, my bike was clean. I washed it.
That was the problem.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, these guys were great to be with, very supportive, and I'm glad the bike got us home. But we cut our ride short on the Sunday because I just didn't have the confidence that my bike was going to start if it stalled. And so it was time to get it home, right? And I don't think I shot anybody on Sunday, did I?
No, but I think it was a good call because the weather quickly deteriorated on the way home. We did about 2 hours before we drove into the rain, and then it got kind of wet. I was awfully thankful to stop at Dave's and have a piece of pizza and rest before we moved on.
Kevin and I got washed pretty hard coming back.
Yeah.
From Dave's.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I got it. I got it just after I got off the 407 onto the 403. It just came down buckets.
Yeah, it's horrible. And as much as I love riding my bike, I don't love riding my bike in the rain. Thoughts?
It's easier to go home in the rain than it is to leave, though.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. A lot easier to come home on a rainy day than it is to go on a rainy day. We had so much fun. One of the questions I was going to ask you guys is, what do you think? Should we travel to VAM 23? next year.
23, you mean?
Yeah,
What I
VAM
said.
23.
VAM
Yeah,
20.
I'm up for it. I just
What
need
about
to
you,
know a
Richard?
date.
Would you like to see
I'm
even
gonna
more?
need more than I'm gonna need more than 4 days notice. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, this one, VAM is it's a bunch of motovloggers that get together, and it is something else. Quite a few of them are there. There's a few of them that are in the side chat that were there, McStash and Purple on 3. And these guys would know better than I would because I haven't been there yet. I wanted to go, but with the COVID and the difficulty getting across the border being closed and such, it's been difficult to get there. But I would really like to go next year. That would be an awful lot of fun. And so thoughts for the Canadian guys next summer. Have you guys had any thoughts of things we could do in the summertime?
Hey, Jason's here, or Mr. McStash. Maybe he can tell us if there is a planned date, or maybe Wayne knows, for next year, so we can put it in our calendars in advance. Maybe they can do something in the side chat.
That would be great if they could let us know.
Yeah.
It's-
And Craig Hainsworth's on, so we got to get him up next year to join us for a ride. I've still got some more eastern roads that you guys haven't been on, so maybe,
Angel thinks we should go out west.
Yeah, he's got to come up. So I was in Buffalo, Niagara Falls area a couple of weeks ago. Ran into Craig and Boots and Jeans riders as well. So
oh wow, great.
we had a good afternoon. Spent the morning with Spider Wayne. We rode around. He gave me the tour of all the national parks along Niagara Falls, New York. And
I think that's for you, Dave.
near the end of the day, Craig and Rich and Cake showed up. So yeah, we had a good visit. It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like for the people that we talk to a lot and the videos that I watch and these guys watch, a lot of the motovloggers that we follow go to this one. And I would really like to go because I'd like to meet some of these guys like Bob. I've been talking to Bob for, it's been years now. And I'd love to meet the guy,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this. And they even had ice cream. Look at that. Should have had ice cream. We didn't have ice cream. That's the one thing we should do.
Get out of here. You had the opportunity a couple of times for a scoop of ice cream, and you said no.
I know.
Oh, tell them about the phone booth. We found a phone booth for Kevin.
Yes. In Algonquin Park, we found a phone booth, and they took a picture of Superman coming out of the phone booth. I wish I would have brought my my cape. I didn't bring my cape. I was gonna, and then I didn't. I thought it would have made some pretty good. I know, no ice cream. Purple on 3. She says no ice cream.
Yeah, you didn't have room for your cape in your bike when you were carrying a bunch of Dave's stuff.
I know. If I didn't have to carry so much of Dave's crap, then I could have put my stuff in there.
What do you mean, Dave's crap?
Dave would say, "Hey, you got lots of room in that tour pack. Here,
It wasn't.
put this
So
in."
explain why you had to make 3 trips back to your saddle, your tour pack, when I asked for my stuff back, right?
Because
why
I was
did
trying
it
to
take you
keep
3
a
times?
giant chocolate muffin, and you wouldn't let me keep it.
or the Christmas card, or the model car I got.
Yeah, I know. I should have done that. And everybody is so surprised that we didn't have ice cream. We should go west. She's telling us that we should go west, but you know what? I would really like to do that trip. It's just so far. Just so far. But one day I will make the western the Western Swing. I have got, where are we? Where am I here? Wow, the time is just getting away from me here. I got a question for all you guys. When I go on a motorcycle trip, I like blank. I like
Sunshine.
blank. And so I'm going to start with Dave. When I go on a motorcycle, I like
The obvious. I like a bike that doesn't break down.
all right.
Right. I like a bike that runs nice and smooth. And Angel Face, I'll agree with her. Good weather, nice sunny weather.
Yeah, sunny
The
weather.
rest of it, I can roll with.
What about you, Richard? When you go on a motorcycle, I like blank.
Good roads and sunshine.
Yeah. And we had both of those, I'll have to say. We had 2 excellent days of weather. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold, and the roads were phenomenal. We had found, what was that one was called Kalaboogie Road or something?
511, the Kalaboogie. Yep.
Kalaboogie Road.
Yeah. Now that was before. I would say the best part was from Griffin down to Kalaboogie, because Griffin had highways 71 and 65 and 508. It had those 3 highways into Kalaboogie.
And just to explain to the people who have never been on any of these roads, you got to imagine, like, we were pretty, we're Eastern Ontario, but it is very, very, very much uninhabited.
That
You know, there's an
desolate.
There's an awful lot. What did you say there, Ray?
I said desolate.
Desolate, yeah. There's a lot of, it's where Algonquin Park is, and where there's a lot of little lakes and a lot of rock cuts and trees and trees and trees and little itty bitty towns. But we were on one road in particular, a couple of roads, that there was nothing on them. They were just a way to get to somewhere, but they went the very indirect way around every rock cut, and it was awesome. The roads were right, left, right, left, right, left. It was like, what was it, 45 minutes on that Kalaboogie or something? 42 minutes?
45 minutes, yeah.
And it was literally a right turn, a left turn, a right turn, a left turn. And then there would be a lake, and then there would be trees and a rock cut. And it was just, and deer. Oh my goodness. How many deer did we see on that trip?
Yeah, there was one group of 4 and one group of 3.
Yeah. But
And it was the second. It was the second one that concerned me, was because the deer was on the shoulder facing me as I came around the corner, and I didn't know whether it was going to go left or right, and it chose to go right, which took it off the highway, versus left, which would have put it right in front of me.
It was, you know what? It was an amazing trip. We kept looking for Bullwinkle. There was the big Bullwinkle signs. There are a lot of moose up that way, but we didn't see any. Thank goodness. I wouldn't mind seeing them off the road. I don't want to see them on the road because they can be very large.
No directing traffic.
It's what?
Yeah.
No directing traffic.
No directing traffic. So who was I asking when I go, you're going to have a bike that runs, you're going to have curvy roads, or you're going to have curvy roads? You haven't answered?
Wayne hasn't.
Wayne,
when you go on a motorcycle, I like what?
On a trip, good company and good weather. I think somebody already put that in the comments. good breakfast is the
Yeah.
number one thing that you need.
And I think you did have good breakfast.
You know, and the best part about having Wayne on a motorcycle trip is you're going to have a good breakfast. And I really appreciate
it's
that.
the
Wayne,
most
thank you.
important meal of the day, Kev.
I know. And you know what? I can fully get behind that. It was absolutely great. I've got a question for all of you guys. Cool stuff that has happened to you on a ride this summer. And for me, I'm going to say, well, this trip, finding that road that I've never been on, that just never seemed to, it didn't seem like it had an end. And it was so much fun. It was, the road was posted at 60 kilometers an hour, which is like 40 miles an hour. And we did it at 80 kilometers an hour, which is about 50 some odd miles per hour. And the road was the smoothest black new asphalt, and all of the corners were really well engineered. It was great. So that's, I guess for me, that's my cool stuff. What about you, Wayne? What would you say on any of your rides this summer? What was the cool stuff that happened?
We were on our way home to Dave's place on Highway 7. We went through a small town about double the speed limit. There was a cop sitting in a cruiser watching us go by, and he didn't wave, he just nodded. So that was about the coolest thing I've seen this summer.
Yeah. How about you, Richard? Cool stuff that have happened to you on a ride this summer.
I've run into people that I would have had no chance of meeting just being out on the bike. You stop somewhere and they come walking up and you get talking about bikes and roads, and yeah, it was just neat to run into people that I would have never crossed paths with.
Yeah.
And then, we had ice cream.
The other thing was that parade in Clearwater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
After the parade went by, all the school kids were in the last of the parade. They all went by, and they were all the exact same age, all the exact same height as they went by. And I mentioned it to a group of mothers after the parade was over, that what's going on around here? And the one lady says, "Don't drink the water." They were all the same age. It was like, what happened here?
I think what happens there is it's a very small town and there's not a lot to do.
And it's very cold in the wintertime.
And it's cold in the winter. So they find ways of keeping warm. Moto vlogging can be such a pain because, and I'm going to say this, because when you go on a motorcycle trip or something like that, like we did, it's a double-edged sword. You go on the motorcycle trip and you think, wow, this will be great. I'll have great content. And it's great to record stuff, but you really do have to plan, and you actually have to think about making a video. And it's hard to do that when you're trying to enjoy where you are and what you're doing at the same time. It can be a drag, and it can be like, I like it afterwards, but I don't always appreciate it when I'm doing it. Any thoughts, you guys? Moto vlogging can be such a pain when you're on a trip, or doing it in the summer, same sort of thing.
Well, the number one thing is no audio. It's got to be the biggest pain when you have that happen.
Yeah.
But on big long trips like that you want to capture everything, which is basically what I did. I just turned the cameras on in the morning and let them run.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to motovlog for the whole thing. I mean, there's portions in there where, with my camera on my helmet, I was able to capture all the conversations. So I've got that to use for my videos. But yeah, a lot of those long videos, it's going to be more of a musical interlude than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
B-roll. It becomes B-roll.
B-roll. B-roll. Yeah. How do you deal with a breakdown on a trip? Do you have a backup? Have you ever? I know.
Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Don't.
Just keep it moving.
Yeah.
It's a question that I wanted to ask you guys. I mean, we had a little bit of an issue. We'll talk about that in the videos when they come up. But have you guys ever, like, when you're going on a trip, do you have a plan, a backup plan? Like, my backup plan has always been, if I get into trouble, I do have CAA, or AAA, whatever you want to call it. But you know, the CAA doesn't always work if you're way the heck hell and gone like we were. It only gets you, it'll tow you 200 kilometers, but you know, you have to pay extra. Have you ever thought of what you would do if you had a big breakdown? Like I've thought that I would probably get a U-Haul if I had to. Any thoughts? Richard, you've done an awful lot of traveling on motorcycle. Had you ever plan for those eventualities, or do you just go with it and kind of see what happens?
I always just cross my fingers and hope like heck I don't have anything major happen. If it does, I've always thought, yeah, rent a truck and drive it home.
And you, Wayne, do you have a backup plan, or do you just sort of wing it as well?
Well, it would only be something pretty serious, because I'd probably just fix whatever was wrong with it if I could, where I was. I mean, I got tire repair and all that kind of stuff, and extra fuses, and
unlike us,
yeah.
Wayne fixes bike.
I'm learning more and more about the new bike. So, but yeah, the back of your mind is, okay, if you phone a Harley dealership, there's usually on the tail end of the phone message, it says like emergency pickup, that you can get a number to call and they'll come get you. So there's always that. And then if not, that doesn't go, then I guess you call Uber and go get yourself a U-Haul truck and take her home. So, yeah.
So I carry a very basic toolkit with me on the bike. Not to say that my bike breaks down a lot, but I've got a basic kit. So, you know, hopefully I can fix small things at the side of the road or wherever I stop. I have also CAA, also towing breakdowns with our hog chapter, and finally just going in with the attitude that, hey, if it breaks down, it breaks down. But until then, enjoy the ride.
I like Craig's comment here. For trips I don't record on my way home. That's just my time to relax. And you know what? As a moto vlogger, I understand that. I'd be afraid to not have the camera at the ready, because you want to always, you know, catch that whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I can appreciate that. You know, just leaving it on the way home. That's probably really smart. You know?
Yeah, that's like the show is over. It's time to
Craig's
just
sit
got a
back
comment
and roll down there.
Does he?
Yeah, grab Craig's last one. That's kind of the worst thing that could happen to you.
There's bike taking well, I guess that would work too, I suppose. If you could do it, that wouldn't be so bad either.
I had a friend that spent 8 days in a motel waiting on his Harley to get fixed out. He was out towards Sturgis somewhere. He had a Tri-Glide. Spent 8 days in the motel waiting for the rebuild.
Oh, that was when he had the complete catastrophic motor failure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Yeah. He said after day 3, it was starting to really piss him off.
Yeah, but you can't expect a full engine rebuild in 3 days unless you're buying a crate motor and putting it in.
Yeah.
That's always a little bit challenging too, eh? Like, what do you do if you have a big breakdown? I mean, you can't just, you got to do something. You know, you got to get home. You know. Let's see. All right. So, other questions? I've got some speed round questions. I don't know if you want to bother doing that, but we can. I've got a few quick ones that I can do here.
Yeah, up to you, Craig.
Okay, here we go. I have got this one. Do you plan your videos before your ride?
No.
No? How about you?
No.
You?
Only the fact of I'm going to turn it on certain roads, turn them off on other certain roads.
Yeah.
So that's about the only planning I do.
I have when I have planned a video before the ride, I usually end up with a better video. But that being said, trying to just wing it and come up with whatever I can as I go. Must take on any trip one item. Richard?
Zip ties.
Zip ties. Dave?
Credit card.
Credit card. That's a good one. Wayne?
SD cards. So Kevin has one when his crap out.
Yeah. Okay. That's a really good idea, Wayne. And for me, my must-take item is dumb because I actually didn't use it that much, and that's I take a lot of music. I take a lot of iPods. I had about 5 iPods, and I used a little bit of one on the way home. But anyway,
you need more batteries for your cameras.
I know. So I always ask an ice cream question. So soft or hard ice cream?
Hard.
Hard. I think hard too. Dave?
Yeah.
I go for the hard.
And you, Wayne?
Yeah, same. I agree.
You agree?
Yeah. But if there's no hard, then
Angel Face says batteries.
I just like any ice cream, really.
Okay. Who have you been watching on YouTube lately? I have been watching a lot of Itchy Boots lately. I because she's out in BC right now. I just find it a lot more interesting because it's Canadian content. And I'm finding this trip that she's doing really interesting because she's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we thought we were in nowhere. They're in nowhere. So, yeah. Who you been watching, Wayne?
I've been watching airplane YouTube videos, mainly Jimmy's World, and I also been watching Rescue Rebuild, which is another one that they work on. They work on planes, boats, anything, cars. Jimmy's World, he's out of Florida, and he basically buys planes that have been sitting for 20 years in a barn, gets them fired up. Maybe he flies them home, maybe he gets them trucked home or scraps them for parts or whatever he does, but he's got a few good projects on the go all the time. Now, Rescue Rebuild, they've got a big yacht that they were given and also a twin engine airplane that they're rebuilding, like basically ripping it apart and putting it back together. Other than that, all the people that we talk to on here, McStash and Bodine and HDR and Bronco Ride and you guys and Cycle Fanatics as far as motorcycle stuff. I've been really watching his series of now he's building another bike right now. So apparently I won a prize by commenting on one of his videos. I don't know what the prize is yet, but so he's out of New Jersey, but he's up in Pennsylvania quite a bit. So
yeah, you know who I've been watching faithfully right now is Craig on Shush Motor Travels.
Yes, I have been
He's
watching a
going
lot of
across-
Craig as well.
He's going across Canada, and him and Lucinda, and he's hitting roads that that I dream about traveling one day. So it's really been enjoying his adventures.
Yeah. What about you, Richard? Have you been watching anything on YouTube?
When I get a chance to watch YouTube, I've so far been watching the Canadian guys.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Oh, what a guy! Hey, Richard. He's just wanting to come on next year's ride. That's why.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Now the other one is like all of the people that are here in the side chat. I watch all of theirs. So like Craig and Jody and Tommy G and everybody. Like Craig doesn't put out enough videos. Just saying, Mr. Hainsworth, you need to put out more videos because his are really good. So,
what makes the best content good content? Or good
when a good topic and just content.
I think sometimes when things go backwards, that's almost the best content because it you want to find out what's going to happen next, right? Yeah, I don't know. You guys going forward, do you have any plans for your channel? Like for me, what I'm thinking I'm going to do, I'm planning on doing I'm working on an idea for doing a live stream show, much like this, but different. I've got to get my watch time up. I've got to my 1,000 subscribers. I'm beyond that, but my watch time, I've got to get more watch time before I finally get to where I want to be. So I've got to get that going, and I've got to figure out a way to get more people watching me. How do I do that, guys?
Produce more content.
I'm trying. I know you know I'm trying, but any thoughts, Wayne? Plans for your channel?
No, I've got so much video in the can right now that I need just to sit down and edit all of it. There's rides from this spring, like the first ride out, that there's video of that I haven't even got to edit yet. I've been on the road most
Yeah, well,
of
the
the
upside
summer.
is
So
you're going to have content all winter.
yes.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait.
What?
You're not going to ask about my channel? Because I literally just created it as this live stream was going. So.
Oh, really?
I suppose it's called Hey Richard.
Hey Richard.
I'm going to have to actually go back and look.
I
just
don't know
wanna
what
try
to
and
call
put
it.
some content.
Okay, I already did ask you that. Oh, here's what I didn't ask you. I wish my bike had.
Oh,
And I'm
come
gonna
on,
say-
Ed.
I wish my
You're
bike had.
asking that?
Huh?
That's a loaded question for somebody.
Why? No, I wish my bike had a heated seat. What about you, Richard? What do you wish your bike had?
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Oh, you want a Sena headset?
Well, just so that I could connect to my radio, because right now it's hardwired and I'm not a fan.
What about you, Wayne? You wish your bike had what?
A twin.
A twin.
Because I'm putting so many miles on it. I need two of them.
I meant to ask you that earlier. Is how many miles have you put on this summer?
I have since July, middle of July, I think the 16th of July, 2021, we bought the bike or brought it home.
Yeah.
I now have 31,000
No
miles,
kidding.
not
Miles.
kilometers, miles.
Miles.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a lot of riding. Oh my
Well, I have a disclaimer. You see, I have this wife that allows me to, lets me
Oh, I hear
do
her.
whatever I want. Oh yeah, I'm being heckled in the background. Yes. I have my finger on the mute button as we speak, just in case. But I'm pretty well free reign anytime she's working, or if she's not and she doesn't want to attend a ride, I'm pretty much able to go wherever I want. Now, in saying that, I also have an employer that basically appreciates the fact that I still work for them and haven't packed it in completely. So they kind of allow me to do whatever I need to do whenever I need to do it, and I appreciate that too. So yeah, it's been a win-win here for us, and also, you know, we're really enjoying the bike. So
Yeah, you have
like
really
right now, if the people don't know, we're actually on the road right now. I'm not at home. We're in Perth, Ontario. We've done a ride right around from
for anybody
Barrie
who
on.
doesn't know, how far away is Perth, Ontario from where we are? You are how far?
It's
You're
like
almost
about
at
a
Ottawa, are you not?
6-hour drive for me to
Yeah,
get home.
yeah. He is.
We're almost Ottawa right now. We're like an hour out of Ottawa.
Yeah, unbelievable. Dave, you wish your bike had what? And don't say any of the bad things. I want to hear something.
How about
I
more
know what your
roads?
bike needs. You
How
wish
about
your bike had a trunk.
No, I don't wish that. I just got my friend Kevin, and I just load up his bike. I wish my bike to find more roads that I have never ridden on.
Oh no, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? This has been a really good live stream, guys. And you know what? I've burned through all of my questions here and covered pretty much what I wanted to cover. And I'm wondering if I was willing to host again, I will. If either one of you want to, you are welcome to do this again. But I was thinking I would probably like to host again. I am trying to get my watch time up. I know it's purely self-serving, but how about, are you interested in doing the live stream again next week?
Well, next week is Thanksgiving, so
No, the week after.
sure, I'll give it a go. The week after, if Wayne's up to joining us.
Yeah, all right, I can make it.
Okay, so we'll meet again after Thanksgiving, and we'll do all this stuff. I'd like to thank everybody in the side chat, and thank you so much for stopping by. Craig, Angelface, Ron, Bodine, everybody that has stopped by tonight, Mr. McStash. You know, I really appreciate the support, and we look forward to talking to you in 2 weeks' time again. All right.
Well, listen, guys, thanks for letting me join you for your weekend trip. That was a whole lot of fun, and for letting me jump in on the live stream tonight.
Yeah, no problem. It was great having you along, and it was an awful lot of fun.
That it was.
And what I will say is I would tell everybody in the side to keep an eye out for the videos that will be coming. I'm working on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of our trip, and I know that Wayne will have his coming out in the wintertime, and Dave as well. You guys will be probably doing this a little later than me, but
Yeah.
the videos will be coming, and I wouldn't mind maybe sharing some of my video with you guys, and you guys could share some with me, and maybe we could come up with a better video. But I have got an awful lot of footage, so I was looking through it, and I'm looking forward to posting some of that stuff. So anyway, I'd like to thank everybody, and yeah, and we'll see you again. So
All right.
if you
Thanks,
guys
Kevin.
wouldn't mind hanging around in the
Richard,
green,
Wayne.
Wayne.
I turned my mic on. Have
Oh.
a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you all.
Later, guys.
Okay.